Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Andrew Gaffney. I'm Editorial Director with Retail Touchpoints. Really glad you could join us today for the third in our holiday trend series and readiness series. Today's session is going to be a great one. We're actually looking at connecting commerce everywhere during peak shopping season. We're only a few weeks out now from Black Friday, and I'm sure you're all busy in final preparations, and I think a lot of what you'll hear today will be some great ideas, thoughts, hopefully reminders maybe on some of the things that you can apply once we get into the peak selling season. And I think there'll also be some ideas you can apply beyond that as well. Just a quick reminder, quick updates here. The presentation will run for about 30 minutes. Welcome and encourage you to submit any questions that you might have for the speaker as they come to mind. You can do that right in the On24 tab there for Q&A. We'll get to as many of those as we can. If we don't get to answer your question, we'll ask our speaker to follow up with you directly. Also, you can keep an eye on the conversations that are going on in social right within the On24 platform, and also there is a tab for related resources. You'll be able to download some more reading on today's topic around holiday readiness, some great other resources for you. One of the frequently asked questions we get is, yes, today's session is being recorded. All of our registrants will get a link to go back and review and also share it with their peers. I mentioned social earlier. We are going to try to make this as interactive a conversation as possible, so we'd really love it if you could share any thoughts that you like about the conversation on social. We'll be monitoring LinkedIn and Twitter. We'd ask that you use the hashtag #HolidayInsights. We can either respond to any questions you might have, or again, we'll be helping to socialize those as well. Also, our speaker names and some related handles are on the screen there if you want to jot those down and include them in anything you might be posting. As I mentioned, the series is being hosted by Retail Touchpoints. Hopefully you're already a subscriber to our online publication. You'll get, if you're not already, I encourage you to join more than 50,000 of your peers, where you'll access our daily content. We have our newsletters that go out, as well as proprietary content that you'll access in terms of research that we produce. So encourage you to do that, and also check out our social groups on LinkedIn as well. So we've got a great speaker today. Erin Dorishorst is Senior Product and Marketing Manager with Salesforce. Erin's an energetic marketing leader who is passionate about engaging with global internal and external audiences, including customers, business partners, colleagues, and executives. Erin has a 10-year track record of proven results in international account management, sales, communications, and product marketing. In her role, Erin's capabilities including shaping message and position of products in conjunction with outbound marketing activities such as collateral development and demand generation. Erin helps advocate market requirements to the greater product teams to shape product roadmaps and also product launch plans aimed to grow the business. So really encourage Erin's got some great content for us. Before we go ahead and I turn the floor over to Erin, I did want to share with you a cool video. It'll give you sort of a live look at some of the topics we're going to be addressing today and how they're being applied in the retail environment. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Andrew, and thank you all very much for having me here today, where we're going to talk about 6 ways to connect commerce everywhere during peak holiday shopping season. Remind you that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, and to please make all purchase decisions based on commercially available products and solutions. Also want to thank you. We thank all of our trailblazers because we wouldn't be here without you. In this webinar, we are going to be sharing some insights around this year's holiday outlook. We're also going to focus on some key imperatives to creating an amazing holiday for your brand. And we're also going to point you to some additional resources to help you keep the momentum going. What does the holiday outlook look like? Well, according to the National Retail Federation, we're expecting holiday retail sales in November and December, excluding automobiles, gasoline, and restaurants, to increase between 4.3 and 4.8% over 2017, for a total of $717 billion to over $720 billion. This forecast compares with an average annual increase of 3.9% over the past 5 years. And for comparison, holiday sales in 2017 totaled just over $687 billion. So all in all, the holiday outlook looks very sunny. So how can you make sure that your brand is meeting or exceeding these holiday growth numbers? Well, our perspective is all about commerce readiness. And today we will be sharing exciting ideas as well as some new technologies that will help you detect early buying signals and be able to wow your shoppers at every point on their path to purchase. Let's start with some newer technologies like voice-enabled shopping. Voice-enabled shopping and search are just beginning to gain momentum, but of course they still cannot be ignored as key parts of your holiday content and SEO strategies for the year. Nearly 50% of all people are already using voice search when researching products today, and 20% have already made a voice purchase, with 33% of shoppers planning to make a voice purchase in the next year. With the sales of voice devices such as Echo, Google Home, Siri, and Cortana skyrocketing, retailers can look forward to expanding their omni-channel efforts beyond digital and mobile and actually into the physical home. It's really an unprecedented opportunity to be able to enhance engagement and provide that next level of customer service, help drive brand awareness, and increase retention. So what are the things that brands should really consider when it comes to voice shopping? Well, we have a key imperative to help you focus, and that includes activating your voice strategy. So we recommend to start by thinking about the context in which consumers might use voice for holiday shopping. And you can think about it as questions that they might even ask your sales associate if they were in the store. Your voice search and content strategy should be built around the fact that voice queries are more conversational, and they're going to mimic the way that shoppers are going to naturally speak and ask questions. It's also important to keep in mind that voice search also tends to be very locally focused, as consumers are often looking for very quick answers in the moment and often via a mobile device. It's also about redefining your focus. So voice queries tend to be about 6 to 10 words. In comparison, text queries are generally around 1 to 3 words. So for voice, it's about shifting that focus from keywords to actual sentences or phrases or even topics. Answering the who, what, when, where, and why, and the how questions. These types of questions will become more frequent as voice search usage continues to increase. And we recommend with all things and all new technologies to continue to test drive often. Test some of those common questions relevant to your brand via Siri, Hey Google, Cortana, or Alexa to see what answers are being returned and even see what your competition is doing or perhaps not doing and where you should concentrate your efforts first. You're going to most likely see that there's a lot of opportunity available for early adopters of voice. And there's a real lack of quality answers to common questions out there today. And of course, keeping it simple. Think about how you naturally ask and answer a question. It's more conversational, as if you were talking directly with someone. You'll find that short answers are best for our on-the-go consumers of today. And of course, none of us wants to sit listening to a rambling stranger anyway. And then think local. So revisit your Google and your Apple Map listings and make sure that you claim your business listings and have optimized each store location with accurate details, updated store hours, and photos. And of course, if you have seasonal store hours as well, don't forget to update for those seasonal hours to make sure that those extended hours are bringing in even more shoppers for the holiday season. And it's about optimizing your content. So adding natural language to your site to give yourself a greater chance of showing up in those voice search results. Be an early adopter. Not many brands have optimized their content for voice yet. Again, there's a lot of opportunity in this space. And again, there's still enormous opportunity to help generate rich SEO and get ahead this holiday season of your competition. Next, we have artificial intelligence. So during the busy holiday season, it's easy for retail brands to get caught up in their own perception of the perfect product sets or assortments. And as retailers, we want to mean something to our customers. But our customers may want us to be something completely different. Not every shopper wants to buy the family a full set of matching pajamas, but they may be just looking for a pair for themselves. So fortunately for retailers, the machine learning technology that AI powers has only one bias, and that's data. And earlier this year, Salesforce released a Power of Personalization report that actually analyzed the business impact of AI-based personalization. And what we found is that personalized product recommendations, while only driving 7% of total visits, were driving an astounding 26% of revenue. And we also saw that consumers who clicked on AI-based product recommendations actually placed more orders, spent more, and made more repeat visits. So the question is, will there be time to implement AI technology before your holiday freeze? Well, yes. In fact, the whole point of what we're doing with Salesforce Einstein is that it's baked right into our Commerce Cloud platform. And it means that it doesn't require a data scientist. You don't have to bring on an extra team to help you with these data and these insights. And it can often actually be implemented with just a series of clicks. And if you're asking what capabilities would this include, well, we have a couple here to share with you. The first being Einstein Commerce Insights. So Einstein Commerce Insights is a shopping cart analysis dashboard, which helps brands to understand which products are most commonly purchased together, and it also gives merchandisers a more granular view of the shopping activity, including product-specific sales and top co-purchase products. So it can even help you create that perfect product bundle that you might sell and promote for the holiday season. Then there's Einstein Predictive Sort. Einstein Predictive Sort uses machine learning to personalize the order in which products appear in a search and category page on your e-commerce site. This is a must for anyone, but of course, if you think about that mobile-first strategy, which we'll talk a little bit more about later, that's really key because the limited amount of real estate that you have on a mobile device, it's so important that those items that are most relevant to the consumer are popping up first, because if they have to continue to scroll down that mobile device, you're going to lose them. And then we have Einstein Search Dictionaries, which will help you identify popular search terms missing in your dictionaries by analyzing all of the searches made on your site and then automatically pairing those terms with an appropriate synonym list. So, for example, if searching for trousers, it might return pants or bottoms. And then Einstein Product Recommendation. This is obviously powering that one-to-one personalized shopping experience and product recommendations for both your known and your anonymous shoppers. So now let's take a look at a success story regarding AI technology from one of our trailblazers. Hills is a retail apparel company founded in 1999 in England, and for more than 18 years has brought British heritage-inspired wares of the highest quality to the wardrobes of spirited and inspired youth. And Jack Wolfskin is taking advantage of multiple AI capabilities. In fact, they're using product recommendations, search dictionaries, and commerce insights. What they found is that their no results found rate from their on-site search has been cut in half to just 6%. And they also found that those who were searching converted at a rate 147% higher than those who are not searching. So Jack Wills is now better able to merchandise its products, drive more sales, and they're being able to add an uptick in conversion with these insights and these personalized recommendations. On to click and collect. Yes, good old click and collect. It's really become a need to have and not a nice to have as consumers want choices. And over 1/3 of all shoppers are using click and collect, which is a figure that we have seen steadily growing as shoppers want those options that are the most convenient for them. But, you know, the retailer is really going to benefit from click and collect as well as the shoppers, because the shopper is really assuming that last mile delivery cost. And of course, once they're in the store, they're more likely to purchase additional items, which will increase your average order value. So it's a win for both retailers and your shoppers. But brands must get a click and collect program right before the holiday season approaches in order to be able to see these increases in average order value. Because a customer expects click and collect doesn't mean it's always so easy. So we actually have a couple of imperatives here to share with you around click and collect. So we'll start with before the order. So your shoppers should know as early as possible that picking up in the store is an option for them. So you want to make sure that your e-commerce site includes information like how click and collect works for your brand, what online products are available for them to pick up in the store, an option to choose which store they pick up at, an option to change from a traditional shipping method to click and collect in the checkout funnel itself, and an option to choose a notification method, as well as it's really nice to be able to offer an incentive for picking up in the store, such as a small discount, possibly a free item, or even a discount off of the next order. Now, after the order, retailers must set that expectation that it's not going to be ready for pickup as soon as the customer hits the buy button. So to ensure a smooth experience for your shoppers, you need to give them updates with a status of their order, as well as provide an ETA on when it's going to be available for them. You want to make sure that the customer receives alerts, and based on the method of selection they chose, that's how they're receiving those alerts for when their order is actually ready. And make sure the customer knows exactly how and where to collect the order. Make sure to provide the address and directions to the store, including links to maps, the store phone number, and your store hours. Now, once in the store, part of the reason for click and collect is often falling a little bit short because stores are not really set up to service those online orders. So based on what we know and what we've seen work today, we believe your stores really should have a trained and available staff ready to process that online order. You should have a dedicated area in the store for those online pickups with very clear signage and have it near the store entrance. And don't make online shoppers join, a catch-all customer service line, because part of the click and collect is about convenience. So sometimes you need to be able to get in and out quickly. And then, of course, you can consider a curbside pickup or even a short-term dedicated parking space for those online shoppers who are coming in to click and collect. And then, of course, there's everything that's going on behind the scenes. So for maximum success, don't forget to ensure that your safety stock values are added to inventory at each store to ensure that your click and collect orders are fulfilled and don't have to be canceled after the fact. And consider turning off click and collect during your high traffic days like Black Friday or Saturdays and Sundays during holiday peak to avoid inventory discrepancies between your offline and your online systems. And then set up order thresholds to help manage volume being sent to each store so you don't overwhelm the associates in the store. And of course, brands are really creating immersive programs that are really creative and draw online shoppers into the store to incentivize those click and collect programs. So we encourage you to think about value-added programs that you could provide to get your online shoppers to come into your brick and mortar store. And we actually have a great example from one of our trailblazers to share with you today. Sephora is founded in 2000 in Atlanta, Georgia. They are a leading specialty retailer in hard surface flooring market, offering the broadest in-stock selection of tile, wood, stone, related tools, and flooring accessories at everyday low prices. So what Floor & Decor has done is Floor & Decor lets shoppers browse for inspiration online and then actually schedule a one-on-one design consultation to follow up in the store for that one-on-one discussion between the shopper and their subject matter experts to pull that shopper into the store and have a value-added reason to bring them into the store. Know that no commerce readiness discussion would be complete without including mobile. Every holiday season, shoppers get closer to living in a mobile-only world. And so for retailers, this means that every interaction a shopper has with your brand will be through or somehow influenced by a mobile device. Those lines between the physical and digital spaces will become even more blurred as innovations in mobile technology continue to grow. We've earlier already talked about the influence of voice search technologies, and I wonder how many of you out there today are actually wearing something like a smartwatch. I know I am. We can think back to just a few years ago when those technologies weren't around. So as shoppers are becoming even more reliant on mobile technology, you're really going to have to think about how you're organizing your brand to be able to help this phenomenon unfold. And today what we're seeing is that phones are the #1 driver of traffic to retail sites. Our latest numbers show that 63% of traffic to e-commerce sites is driven by mobile. But what we're also seeing is that there's a gap between the traffic and order. In fact, computers still win out for orders. So, why is there such a gap? And what we found is that most sites just aren't optimized for that mobile experience. They're optimized for a desktop experience. And with the majority of traffic coming from mobile, retailers really need to shift their mindset, especially during the holiday season, which is, of course, one of the most crucial periods of the year. The mobile-first imperative, so you can start driving more traffic and orders through your brand's mobile experience. We'll start with reduced checkout friction. So give your shoppers payment choices. This holiday, we suggest following PayPal's best practice guide to improve your mobile checkout process. Some of their recommendations include reducing the number of taps to purchase. One-touch checkout, of course, eliminates a lot of that manual data entry, saving frustration. I'm sure none of us are excited when we have to keep entering the same information over and over again. And offer shoppers a choice of payment methods. Whether shopping online or in person, shoppers all have a desired preferred method payment, which allows them to have a more seamless and intuitive and, of course, convenient experience. And you have to optimize for mobile findability. Connecting shoppers to products is key for commerce teams, and it's even more important during the holiday season, as you have some confused gift givers that are often aimlessly hunting for that perfect gift. That's why it's so important for retailers to leverage those dozens of micro moments shoppers spend on their phone every day. These micro moments are short little bursts of activity, which are, of course, are easily interrupted while you're standing there waiting for your morning train, while you're standing there waiting for your morning cup of coffee to brew, or before you're leaving the office for the day. It also means that each of these engagements for these micro moments has to be highly intelligent. So returning irrelevant products in a search result is going to yield a shopper who will quickly lose interest in your site. So some of our top recommendations for improving findability in the mobile experience include things like using your search bar and anchoring your search bar to the top of your page so that they can easily find that search bar whenever they're doing any of their shopping. And in those micro moments, your shopper knows exactly where to go. Give your shoppers plenty of mobile-friendly filter attributes so they can quickly and easily narrow down their own search results. And we've already talked about how AI-powered product recommendations are driving revenue. So encourage usage of these by displaying your product recommendations prominently on your product detail page, as well as leveraging it for things like social and email. And of course, you have to streamline the user experience. Make sure your mobile experience is optimized. Start testing that now and make sure to continue testing throughout the year, because the earlier you start testing, the more successful holiday season that you will have. So what type of things should you be testing? Well, a quick checklist would include testing things like your search bar and making sure that it's easy to find. Again, we recommend having it at the top of your page. Make sure that navigation is highly visible, making sure that you have as few clicks as possible to actually get to your products. Optimize your product detail page for the mobile shopper. One example would be opt for arrows instead of dots for alternative images, as well as anchoring your Add to Cart button to the top of your product page so they can easily find a way to add that item. Make sure that your checkout is optimized with one-tap ordering through mobile payment solutions, and of course, adding in those mobile wallet capabilities. I know that personally, I have abandoned a cart on a mobile device shopping because I was simply too lazy to get off of my couch and go upstairs and get my credit card. And I know that you have shoppers who are just like that too. And then make sure your tappable areas are 44 by 44 pixels so that the mobile site reacts appropriately to each user's selection. And of course, get social with your mobile shoppers. While social media only drives a small percentage of mobile traffic to retail sites, it has a huge influence over the way mobile users spend their time. In fact, 72% of shoppers use social media at least once a week on their mobile device. So some tips on how you can make social and mobile a winning combination include driving re-engagement by displaying products from abandoned carts directly on Instagram and Facebook feeds. Focus on content that showcases your product and feature user-generated content prominently on the product detail page. Make use of Facebook Messenger to provide personalized customer service and guided shopping opportunities. And let local stores create their own page to promote special in-store holiday events. And of course, you can always consider driving loyalty through exclusive holiday shopping offers that are just for your social followers. So now let's take a look at a success story from a trailblazer and what they're doing from a mobile-first perspective. Founded in 1850, Johnson & Murphy is a U.S.-based footwear and apparel company committed to reinventing the classics, which is why they are a modern-day pacemaker. Johnson & Murphy saw the benefit of a mobile-first strategy with mobile wallets after they implemented Apple Pay in the fall of 2017. They saw adoption right out of the gate, and 15% of shoppers were utilizing the tool in the very first weekend that they launched. Adding Apple Pay overall made it a lot easier for their shoppers to buy, and it also helped save their shoppers time. So, one of retailers' biggest concerns around their e-commerce site is how it's going to perform with the spike in holiday traffic. And in today's always connected world, there is a direct correlation between experience performance and the revenue that you're seeing through your e-commerce site, which is being driven by those continuously changing customer expectations. Now, if we think about that, nearly half of all consumers expect a web page to load in 2 seconds or less, that 40% will abandon a site if it takes more than 3 seconds to load, and a 1-second delay in page response time can result in a 7% reduction in conversion. We see how important performing at peak is. To put it another way, if your storefront is generating $100,000 in revenue per day, a 1-second delay could actually result in $2.5 million in lost revenue for your year. So of course, how do you be more prepared for peak season? Well, we have areas that we recommend brands review to help them with scalability when it matters most. The first is around caching. Of course, caching implementations are going to vary by each e-commerce platform. So being able to actually tune your platform is going to be very specific to that platform. But we do have some guiding principles that can be followed to help identify which experiences are most likely going to be good candidates for cache improvements. And that includes identifying which experiences are the most trafficked within your storefront. And for each of these experiences, identify what percentage of requests are actually being cached. Examine what can be done to improve those experiences without degrading that personalization. And then identify what percentage of experience content is cached but never reused, and then prevent those from being cached in the future. Another area to focus on is integrations. Of course, third-party integrations are often leveraged to help extend the breadth of features available for retailers and thus the experiences that retailers can provide for their shoppers. Analytics tracking, social integrations, address validation, middleware services integrated back to core backend system, and fraud checking of orders are all examples of some pretty common third-party integrations out there today. But the load these integrations bear is directly related to your storefront traffic. So it's very important to make sure that these integrations with these service providers can effectively handle the additional stress. So in working with third-party integrations, some best practices to help guide your team include ensuring that each integration has a timeout enabled that respects the customer's experience within your storefront. And implement a governance policy that sets concurrency and rate limiting thresholds. And tie monitoring events to third-party integration failures. And that will help your team be notified when an integration's performance is starting to degrade or becomes unresponsive, so they can address it as soon as possible. And then place controls on integrations that allow them to be shut off and turned back on in case of a third-party outage, so it doesn't in turn impact your e-commerce site. So what else can you do to ensure peak performance during holiday and, of course, year-round? Well, there are also some general best practices out there that are often neglected. So just a reminder on some of those. Keeping a clean house and making sure to purge old data and keep your working data as slim as possible. Validate the integrity and the trustworthiness of your backups. You never know when you're going to need them. And make performance testing of your experience a part of your delivery and QA process. Consistently collect common performance metrics for key experiences after every release, so you can compare them from release to release. And perform load testing prior to key seasons to determine peak traffic thresholds and confirm that they exceed traffic estimates. The holiday hustle and bustle starts to wind up. You're inevitably going to be faced with returns, markdowns, of course, slower post-holiday consumer spending, but your momentum doesn't have to stop. And in fact, it really shouldn't end. And retailers and brands will find creative ways to continue the momentum into the new year. And to help get 2019 started right, we've gathered up some post-holiday strategies to drive customer engagement and conversion. This is just based on decades of collective experience helping global retailers maintain that holiday momentum. So the first is around maximizing your markdowns. It goes without saying that there are going to be post-holiday markdowns. And of course, you have post-holiday bargain hunters that are out there and they're waiting and ready to score those great deals. So consider refreshing your message. Create segmented sell follow-up emails by category. You can use your past purchase history to target shoppers with top sale or markdown items for categories that they are most likely to shop. Take a phased approach to messaging with headlines like first markdown of the season, and new styles added. And refresh the message on your homepage or in emails by featuring trending sale items in which you still have ample inventory. Create a branded sale hashtag and invite shoppers to post photos of their end-of-season steals. Social proof drives conversion, and shoppers are very interested in knowing what deals others are taking advantage of. Engage through email as well. So if you're fresh out of holiday email ideas, here's some post-holiday email campaign ideas that maybe you haven't considered yet. Best of 2018, highlighting your 2018 top-selling products, and incorporate those product reviews into that creative as well. If you have inventory that was wiped out, a really popular selling item, make sure you have a back in stock message, and that might help you recover some sales that you may have lost out on previously. Consider a get what you really wanted type campaign, offering up a discount or free shipping as an incentive for customers to purchase that one thing that they didn't get under the tree that they were really looking forward to. And then there's holidays like Boxing Day, which is December 26th. This is especially important for consumers in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the UK. And it's a great opportunity to continue driving those sales even after Christmas is over. And then revisit your welcome email series. Holiday is a great time to bring in new customers, and you want to make sure that with these new customers and new email subscribers that you're bringing forward the most convincing and the best message that you can. Make sure to create timely content. The new year is a time when consumers are, of course, optimistically all starting out with a clean slate and creating a fresh set of goals for the new year. They're looking for ideas and they're looking for inspiration to help kickstart a fitness routine or to help them get organized, focus on health, or reinventing themselves for the new year. So engage your target market with content that caters to these ideas, adds values, and offers timely solutions for all things related to that new year and new you type of philosophy. And plan for quality versus quantity when it comes to your content strategy. Think about how you can promote relevant product collections within content to help drive your conversion. You can leverage things like lookbooks or shoppable videos, product guides, and product finders. And then, embrace pop culture. National holidays or hashtag holidays relevant to your brand are always a fun way to stay engaged with your customers. And they can be great additions to your social media strategy as well. So, for example, in January, you have National Hobby Month. And you also have hashtag holidays like hashtag National Trivia Day, National Hat Day, Love Your Pet Day in January and February. Of course, there's a whole list of unusual, fun, forgotten holidays out there on the web, and you can start searching for those to help you celebrate ones that are relevant to your customers. Or you can also create your very own branded hashtag and start making it a tradition every year. And of course, you can make social impressions. Again, getting involved with social is so important. And get creative with hashtags. Invite your shoppers and gift your shoppers to join the conversation on your social media channels. You could create a branded hashtag and invite them to share their unboxing experience or their very first usage of their product. And spread the word about your post-holiday hashtag via inserts in outgoing shipments that you have, email marketing campaigns that you're running today, site messaging, order confirmation emails, and of course, on social media. And don't forget to rekindle that relationship post-holiday. Clienteling, mobile, and social messaging offer brands an opportunity to stand out and engage customers on a more personal level. Think about ways you can use cross-channel data to help spark a conversation with your customers after the holiday season's over. Maybe it's inviting them into the store to preview a new collection related to their purchase history. Maybe hold an invite-only event, or suggest products to help them kick-start that new year, new you. Of course, I don't need to tell you that the last 3 months of the year are extremely important to your business. But the holiday season can really create a great halo effect that drives sales and generates positive engagement with your brand well into the new year. So start planning your post-holiday marketing strategies today and help set your brand apart and keep that sales momentum going. That outlook is sunny for this year's holiday season. We're looking at great growth rates. And we discussed some key imperatives for your brand for the holiday season, including voice search, artificial intelligence, click and collect, mobile first, performing during peak season, and then how to keep your momentum going. So now let's take a look at a couple additional resources to help you with a successful holiday and growth throughout the year. Check out this year's holiday shopping predictions, and you can also get the inside scoop based on our predictive analysis of over 500 million online shoppers. In addition, you can subscribe to our blog newsletter to get Cyber Week flash reports starting on Black Friday. And all this great information you can access through the Salesforce Holiday Insights Hub. Or you can check out the 2018 Holiday Readiness Guide to dive deeper on today's imperatives and discover more insights and recommendations to help you create an amazing holiday experience. Thank you very much for having me today and getting to experience 6 ways to connect commerce everywhere during peak shopping season.
Thanks, Erin. That was great. You packed a lot of great examples and insights in there. Hopefully this is all stuff you guys can still apply here in the last few weeks. And also I think it's going to extend beyond that as well. Some great ideas in sort of the first few weeks in the first quarter. So we've got a lot of great questions coming in. I want to just remind everybody in the audience, a lot of great content Erin provided. We're going to try to get through as many of these questions as we can. Go ahead and type them in if you hadn't already done so. So Erin, I'll jump right to that. We had Craig in the audience. You touched about 60% of e-commerce is now being driven by mobile. He's asking how that should factor into strategies around tablets and other computers.
Yeah. So what we're seeing is that traffic from computers is really dropping at the fastest rate. It's now about 30%. And what we're seeing with tablets is that numbers have really flattened out and is driving around 7% of revenue, or sorry, 7% of traffic. Of course, we still see that computers are driving more in that actual revenue. So as far as traffic with, mobile devices being able to drive more traffic to your e-commerce site, it's really taking away from that computer experiences, which again has dropped down to around 30%.
Okay, great. Lisa asked, she said you shared some great insights around click and collect, but she said the other realities of click and collect are that returns after the holiday are inevitable. So she's asking, how would you suggest we handle items purchased online but returned to the store?
Yeah, and of course we know that that's going to happen, right? And there really are a number of ways to handle these cross-channel returns, and we see retailers who are handling them in several different ways. So that could include having the return stay with the place of purchase, so in this case online, to the return hitting the place of return, in this case the store. Of course, that may send your store associates running for cover when they see somebody walking in with an online purchase. But in today's omni-channel world, we're also starting to see more and more retailers trying to view their channels as one and starting to organize the shopper around the shopper experience versus those different channels operating completely separately.
Okay, great. So Julia pointed out that you had some great suggestions around AI and how it could impact the personalized experience. She's asking, how would you see it impacting those buying for others, so like gift purchasers? Is there ways that it could address that?
Yeah, so that's really interesting, right? Because we always talk about that personalized shopping experience. And, when we think about that as the individual, we often associate it when we're going online to purchase an item for ourselves. But what we actually saw during last year's holiday season is that this artificial intelligence and this personalized recommendations were also successful at driving recommendations for those shopping for others. So when you're thinking about the use of AI or things like product recommendations, it's important to remember that that personalized experience isn't necessarily about that person. It's about that overall buying experience, and you do have a chance to really impact their purchases for more than just themselves.
Okay, great. We're getting a little time. I'll get one more question in. There's a few that we won't get to, and I'll forward those to you, Aaron, ask you to follow up with the folks directly. In the point you made about performing at peak, Justin is asking about that. It's obviously on his radar and concern. He's asking, if there's an ideal time to test and any best practices around that.
Yeah, so, if you're not testing now for holiday, please, as soon as you listen to this webinar and you get done, start testing for holiday for peak performance. Of course, we recommend to start early with testing for peak performance, but in reality, it's something that you should be doing all year round. If you're testing your performance and making sure that you're going to be able to scale when it matters most all throughout the year, then you won't have to rush into the holiday season or have any concerns as you move into the holiday season when you're going to see those huge spikes in traffic.
Okay, great. All right, I think that's all the questions we'll get to. Aaron, I thought this was really outstanding. Appreciate you packing in so much and taking all those questions. Great job.
Thank you very much.
All right, I want to thank everybody in our audience for joining us today. Hopefully you enjoyed this and got some good information that you can apply and good examples. Keep an eye out for the next session in our series, and also a lot of other great content that's related to this. Please take advantage of. So thanks again, everybody, and have a great day and a great holiday season.